Welcome to the Good Parent, Bad Parent podcast by Kenneth and Kenneth. I'm your host, Kenneth. The other Kenneth is on vacation and should be back soon. I'm here with my friend, Khan. What's up, Khan? Welcome to the show.
How you doing, Kenneth?
Hey,
Thank you for having me back.
So it's good to see you, bro. Today's episode is going to be when life crashes after high school. What does that mean to you? What do you think that means when life crashes after high school?
That means that people still live. There's a lot of folks out there still living in the past,
Right.
and once they graduated, they're still the same old person that they were in high school, and never adjusted to the change of the adult world.
Yeah, we know quite a few people that are like that.
Yes, we do.
Personally, I feel sorry for anyone that thinks that high school was the best time of your life, because if you think about it, if you live a normal lifespan, 70, 80, 85 years old, you live 40 or 50 years past high school, 60 years past high school. And if high school was your best time, if 60 years ago was your best time, that's a problem, right, Con?
That's correct. That's correct. But there's a lot of people out there that they can't see outside that box.
Right.
That football game, that basketball game that they were in.
Absolutely, man. I've seen some people crash and burn after high school, and it's sad to see, that was their crowning achievement. Their crowning moment was high school. Now, when it comes to high school, I used to hang out with a lot of adults, like who were 5 and 6 years older, because I was in music and stuff. So I got to see that the societal norm in high school was not real, wasn't realistic. Everyone got along, white, black, Spanish, Indian, whoever, everyone got along, everything was cool. But I learned that after graduation, there's a difference. Everyone kind of migrates to their own and things kind of switch up. It's different. What you live in high school doesn't reflect real life all the time, right, Con?
That's
what are your
correct.
thoughts?
That's correct. To be honest, my personal experience when we were in high school,
Mhm.
We didn't think too much about like differences, like where we were from,
You're right.
what color everybody
You're
was,
right.
or whatever. We kind of blended together,
Absolutely.
and it was just there was a pureness to it, where we just kind of like we're just kids. But then
Absolutely.
as we graduated and became adults and parents or other adults got involved, we were taught differently, and that's where people had a different lens on as adults.
That was a perfect way to put it. A different lens. It does change it to a completely different lens once you are an adult, because adults are dumb. Anyway, all right, let's go on to the next one. Do you remember any people in school that were popular?
I do. There were some people that they drove some really nice cars, they dressed really nice,
Mhm.
and they were on top of the world in their mind in high
Right.
school.
Of course.
I ran into some of those people at the like a high school reunion.
Okay.
We had a 30-year, 35-year high school
A reunion, right.
and some of these cats showed up trying to fit in the same outfits they had in high school. There was this dude that had a leather jacket on from high school, and man, I tell you what, the stitching was real good back in the 80s because it was holding tight.
It was holding tight.
It was holding tight.
He was trying to bust through it just like the Hulk.
Yes, sir. Those zippers,
Oh
baby.
my gosh. And it's funny because a lot of those people that were popular were not nice people. Like there was a lot of cheerleaders that were not nice
Yeah,
because at that time they were at their peak, right?
Correct. They were mean. They were mean to some folks. But
Absolutely.
some of the folks that were bullied, that weren't too attractive back in high school, or
Right.
they thought they weren't, turned out to be really beautiful people as they got older.
Right.
So I think life comes in different phases, and you mature, earlier than others or later than others.
No, that makes sense. Um, Speaking of, like, when I was talking about cheerleaders, did you know that the average dress size for a NFL cheerleader is between 0 and 4? That's small.
That it is small.
0 and 4. Okay, so you figure back in high school that it was probably equal 0 and 4.
Yes.
Now, 35 years later, it's probably not 0 through 4.
No, some of them were NFL running backs.
Probably not 0 through 4. Probably wearing about a 12 or 13. But that's a very humbling thing, that when you used to be that guy or that girl and you are no longer that, nobody gives a dang about what you think, what you feel, or anything. You know, things change, right?
Correct. Correct.
That's why I treat people nice. And if you were the jerk back in school, that's what you get.
That's
But
right.
if you were cool, salute.
Yeah, that's right.
All right,
My parents
Mhm.
always taught me, you never know what somebody's going through.
Right.
So it's always safe to be nice.
Exactly. I gathered a little list of the different kinds of cliques in school, because everybody had a clique, right? You know,
That's right.
everyone had their own cliques. All right. Let's talk about the skateboarders and hipsters with tie-dye shirts. We had those guys, right?
Yeah, Grateful Dead.
Yeah, walking around carrying their skateboards
That's
in,
right.
in school and doing tricks, you know, during lunch, right?
Everybody thought they were Tony Hawk.
Exactly. Exactly. The goth people that wore black trench coats and black boots.
Correct.
We had those, right?
We had those.
Remember?
Yep.
Remember them? The preppies.
Oh my goodness.
So thought they were
With
better.
the turtlenecks.
Yeah, exactly.
And the cardigans.
Exactly. I thought they were better than everyone else in the entire building, right?
Oh yes.
Okay, we already talked about cheerleaders because they had their own clique and they would always have their little outfits on, their little cheerleading outfits.
That's correct.
All right. The potheads.
Oh,
All right. They were always in the hall skipping class,
correct. Correct.
right? So we've seen plenty of them, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay. Who else we got here? Yeah, the jocks.
The jocks.
The jocks.
Yes. Yes.
The jocks. They walked through those halls of school like they were gods, especially if they won.
Correct.
If
Correct.
they won, you can tell them nothing, right?
Correct. Yep. They always wearing those leather jackets.
Yeah.
Yep.
And some had the leather jacket with the little medals, with extra medals hanging off of it too,
Right.
like a general or something,
Yep.
right?
Yep. They always take all the space in the hall too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When the athletes came through, move out the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Speaking of athletes, a lot of people, I have friends and all, and they tell you about their defining moment or game-winning shot. And let me tell you, I really could understand and relate to, it's down to 2 seconds left and you get that shot off and you win.
Correct.
That has to be a great feeling that most athletes are probably not going to experience ever again.
Correct. Correct.
You remember Married with Children, Al Bundy?
Yes. Played football.
Okay. How many touchdowns did Al score at Polk High School? Do you know?
I don't know.
Because I looked it up. It was 4 touchdowns in a single game, and it remains Al Bundy's ultimate peak and defining moment. He got 4 touchdowns, and he was selling shoes and was still
Correct.
talking about his 4 touchdowns,
Correct.
and
Correct.
would try to fit in his shirt,
Correct.
right?
Right.
Polk
Yes.
High.
Yeah.
Let's talk about getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Did you ever get in trouble in school?
Man, I got in so much trouble. Some of the spankings my dad gave me, I deserved them.
He said I deserved it. What type of trouble did you get in back in school? Like what?
I think back in the kind of troubles that we got back into back then were different than today.
Correct.
It was kind of innocent, like taking what are those little things you put around your tires? A hubcap, the valve caps.
Oh, these valve stem covers.
Yes,
the
yes, yes,
cover.
yes.
Yeah.
And I remember this dude. He would always do
If they had chrome ones.
the chrome
Yeah.
chrome caps. Yeah,
Right.
There was a guy that stepped it up a game, and I thought it was, man, that's just too much.
Mhm.
If he saw like a Mercedes emblem or something like that,
Right.
he was going to end up wearing it around his neck. And I said, man, that's too much.
That was
That's what I
definitely
did.
it was definitely back in the day.
Yeah.
Did you ever skip class or anything like that?
Oh man, all the time. Back in our high school, we always had this guy that was in a pickup truck,
Yeah.
and he would wait. I think his name was Rambo. And
Yeah.
he would wait. He would park the truck right at the entrance because when lunchtime came, a lot of people would try to sneak out and go to McDonald's
Mhm.
because that's where everybody hung out.
Right.
And I remember when getting caught by him one time and sent me to in-school suspension. And man, we slept all day up in there.
And for the people who might not understand what he's saying, our school had you know, its own parking lot, its own roads and stuff. So you could easily leave. You could just jump in the car and leave. So to avoid that from happening, they had this little guy who would monitor the parking lot to make sure that students wouldn't leave. And he had like a Ford Ranger pickup truck.
That's right.
And he would block the roadway if you tried to come out. But
Right.
Khan had a fancy sports car, and I'm sure could easily navigate through that, you know, without any problems, right?
I got caught.
You got
But if you came back with a McDonald's bag, you were cool
right.
because you knew how to get in and out.
You know what? One time in my homeroom class, I showed up late and I had McDonald's food, and the teacher said, he said, "Hey, you know, come here." I said, "Well, what's up, coach?" He said, "Would you happen to have an extra sandwich in there?" I said, "Yeah, I got an extra sandwich." He said, "Listen," he said, "you don't have to do any work. If I can just get the extra sandwich, that would be great." So I said, "Sure." You know, I gave him a sandwich,
Yeah.
and I was able to just goof off and do nothing and sleep for the entire period. Those were the good old days.
Those were
They
good
don't
old
make
days.
teachers like that now, you know, and plus everyone got phones with cameras on, and then, you know, people tell and film and put everything online. So that's a major
I
problem.
remember the in-school suspension.
In school
You know,
suspension.
we had a teacher named Mr.
Well-
Kitchen. God bless him.
Actually, could you explain what that means? Because not all schools have that. So can you explain
Okay.
what that actually is?
So instead of if you did a light crime, you did something that wasn't too bad, you know, you would serve your time in the classroom. They had a separate classroom segregated for just the knuckleheads, and you know where they would send you for a couple days or whatever your sentence was.
It was like baby jail.
That's
It
right.
was-
That's right.
It was just a room with four walls, you know, it had windows, you know, but you couldn't see anything. People couldn't visit you. You couldn't do anything. You'd be in this room all day except lunchtime, bored out of your brains. And that was the punishment, right?
Correct. And if you were out of school suspension, then you did something really bad. So in school is not so bad. So I had a teacher that a lot of kids when we'd go in there, we'd end up sleeping, you know, or sleeping at the desk. He taught me the proper form. He said you got to use your forearms. You know, you get the most cushion out of that.
Sure.
And man, it was the best advice I got for in school suspension. So, but it was little things like that that just bring back memories. I wish I didn't do those things though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now, answer me this. What was your fondest memory in school? Or that you had fun that was like, wow, this was fun?
You know what? We had a math teacher, and he really truly cared about us, and he found fun ways to teach us
Sure.
to kind of have us engaged. And every morning, you know, we would gather around talking and just not paying attention. But when he would sit down with us, he would say, "You guys ready? You guys ready for some learning today?" And then we would listen to him because
He was a lot of fun.
he cared about us.
He did.
Yep.
He did.
Mr. Cirque.
Mr. Cirque. Yeah.
Mr. Cirque.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Mr. Cirque.
Yes,
He
sir.
was a great, great guy. Now, let me ask you this. Did you find the love of your life in high school?
I thought I did. But I did. I met my first love while I was in high school.
Mhm.
And it was a humbling experience.
Well,
I'll tell you that.
does it really count as first love when you don't understand what love is? I mean, did you really understand the gravity of what love was at 16, 17 years old?
I think it's more like puppy love because you don't realize, you know, how deep the heart can go. You know, you remember in high school when people would date each other,
Right.
and then 2 weeks later they're dating your friend or
You know-
someone else.
I don't know if I can call it love because you don't know what you're dealing with. You know, it's like someone taking a drug and they don't realize that it's drugs, you know, and you know, and it hurts them. You don't realize what true love is to me until you have a child. Then that's when you understand what true love is, right? But as far as school goes, I really don't think it counts personally because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know anything about love. You don't know anything about guys or about girls and really don't know how to navigate those complicated waters. So for me personally, I don't think it really counts as love, really. I mean, sure, they say puppy love, but no, it was just, you were just some idiot who liked someone and they probably took advantage of you and made you feel dumb.
But what you do experience is heartbreak.
Most certainly.
And you don't forget that. Your
Actually-
first heartbreak.
I think I think heartbreak is good. The heartbreak that I experienced to me was good. It made me strong, you know?
Yeah.
Because once I started getting in my, I guess, mid-20s, I started understanding things and started handling business and became that guy, you know, as far as, hey, I handle business, you know, my family, you know, everything's good.
Yeah.
Right. So I really don't think that love, that you really understand it when you're that young. And actually, I think it takes years. But for me, what taught me love more than anything was having a child,
It is. Yes.
because they love you unconditionally.
Correct.
You know, they're not saying, "Oh, well, Dad, we could have a bigger house." No, they're like, "Hey, you know, they love you for you, and that's it, right?"
Correct. Correct.
All right. You know what? When you had talked about skipping, there was this one class that I signed up for. It wasn't a major class. I can't recall what class it was, but when the school year started, I never showed up for that class, right? And it was
Okay.
during the lunch period.
Correct.
And since I didn't show up, and it wasn't all this technology to send texts and emails and stuff, the teacher thought that I wasn't in the class. So I got scratched off the thing. And I had lunch. I had first, second, and third lunch every day for a year, and somehow never got caught.
Never got caught.
Never got caught. Well, that's because I understood you only go into the cafeteria once.
Okay.
You don't go in there all 3 times,
Correct,
right?
correct.
You know, just once and then go hang out somewhere,
Correct.
right? And yeah, I never got caught. I'm like, now let's talk about technology in school.
Yes.
You're getting caught.
You getting caught.
Anytime that my kid wasn't there, I got an email or a text message immediately. Immediately. It wasn't long. If they took roll call at, let's say, 8, by 8:15, I got an email and a text saying your child wasn't here.
Correct. Correct.
And then going up to the school, you got to take out your license and you ring the bell, and the cop is there. You know, it's a whole thing.
Correct.
What was it like when we were in school? Could you leave? Could you go in? Could you come and go freely?
Yes, you could. Actually, you could remember forging notes?
Yeah.
You forging your parents' notes, your
Yeah.
parents' signature. And I remember I was doing it for so long that I went to the dentist. I gave her the note. They said, "You know, you don't have to do this no more. You 18 now."
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. I mean, now there's cameras in school everywhere. Back in school, all the doors were unlocked.
Correct.
You could enter from anywhere on the entire campus.
Yeah, correct.
Right? That was crazy. There was no cameras. You could just do whatever. But you know what? They had a smoking section, remember?
Correct.
There was a student smoking section. How crazy is that?
Yeah, teachers too.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what? Speaking of teachers now are gorgeous. All right?
Yes.
Man, it's like I've gone to my kids' school and I'm like, some of these teachers look like models.
Yep.
What did teachers look like? What did most teachers look like whenever we were coming up?
They look like Betty Crocker.
Man, let me tell you something. They look like Edith Bunker. They look like Weezy Jefferson. You know, all of that. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that there wasn't an occasional good-looking teacher, but a lot of them didn't look like these teachers do now. They look like models, some of them.
Correct. Correct.
And then this whole thing with teachers sleeping with their students. That's crazy.
Yeah, where were those teachers when we were?
You know what? We're not even going to go there, bro. We ain't going there. We're going to just skip that one, all right?
I
Now,
would have told them no.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure. No, yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
In closing, let me ask you this. If you could travel back in time, okay, with your current mind that you have right now and your 15-year-old body, would you do anything differently in school, or would you do exactly what you did the first time? So it's a 15-year-old you're a freshman, but with your current brain and mind that you have right this second, transformed into your 15-year-old body, would you do anything different?
So let's say if we went back to 1985.
Yes.
That was my favorite year.
Mhm.
I would definitely be doing things differently.
Like what?
I would read a lot more. I'd be reading the business section. I'd be having an entrepreneurial mindset.
No more skipping class?
No more skipping.
No.
You know what though?
What?
Skipping classes is fun,
It was.
but
It was.
I would do it in a smart way. You know, I'd skip class, go read a newspaper
Yeah.
at the park. You know,
Go
find
to
what
clients,
percent was doing well. You
Exactly.
know, this kind of things. I would. What about you? What would you do?
I would most certainly do better with my work. I would do my homework because I typically wouldn't do homework. I do just enough work so that I could pass.
Correct. Correct.
You know, that was basically it. But I would most certainly do better passing my assignments, stop being a knucklehead, don't skip class. I do everything right and just try to maximize with my knowledge to get the best education I could and
Yes.
to go out there and make things happen. Because in school, if you don't take advantage of it, you're just wasting time,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, let me ask you this, Kenneth.
Mhm.
If you could go back in time
Yes.
and talk to your 15-year-old self, what would you tell him?
I would tell him, what's wrong with you? Something killing you. That's what I would do. I'd be like, what's wrong?
No.
But no, I mean, you know, I would say, listen, I'd be like, everything here is fake. It's not real. It is meant to enjoy in this moment, but start thinking forward about your future and start making plans so that you can start going towards a positive future because it starts now. We both know now that we're older. When you start talking about having a family,
Yep.
you got to start making preparations for that at 15.
You do?
As much as families cost, you got to start saving at 15 years old and figuring out what you're going to do as a married person to take care of your family, especially if you're going to pay 100% of the bills.
Yes.
You got to start at 15. You know what? Not 15. You got to start at 10.
Correct.
Figuring out what am I going to do? How am I going to take care of this family and give them a future, right?
Correct. Correct. And then, I learned real quick, just real quick.
Yeah.
What I gathered from high school,
Yeah.
some of those teachers were role models. To me, true role models.
Mhm.
I had this one teacher, there was one teacher taught me how to do tune-ups on my car,
Oh,
change oil,
Yeah.
spark plugs, brakes.
that's
And then there's another teacher taught me how to do my own taxes.
wow.
Mr. Rex Road.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he would let me leave early to go to work, make some money, because he said, and also I had this really tough job interview that I had to prepare for, and I had to dress up.
Mhm.
And he taught me how to tie.
That's cool.
Best teaching. Full Windsor, half Windsors, all of them.
That's
So just wanted to share that. There were some positive things,
It
and
was
they were
cool.
role models.
Absolutely. So, in closing, everyone, school is fun, okay, of course, right? But the best part of our lives, and I'm sure that Khan will agree, came after school, right?
That's
The
right.
best times of our life was after school. So once you graduate, try to expand and live your life. Oh, one more thing, because I keep thinking of things. There are people for some reason that when they graduate, they keep coming back to the school. I call them boomerang students, right?
Yes.
There was some people that graduated when I was a freshman. And when I graduated, they were still coming back to the school.
Correct.
And even my kids were telling me that there are people at their school that graduated for years and would still come back.
Correct.
Did you go back?
I'm gonna be honest. I did go back for one game. That
No. I'm not talking about going back for a game. That's normal.
Okay.
I'm talking about just coming back to hang out in the front office
No.
and just hanging around with the little kiddies.
I've never done that.
I have not either.
There were some guys that missed that pass so much that they actually went back and got a job.
Yeah. That is true. Well, listen, man, it's been great having you here. I appreciate you. We're going to most certainly do more. It's always fun being here with my friend Khan. And for everybody, much love. Do you have anything to say in closing before we close out the show?
Hey, just want to let all of you guys know that change is good. I always use the 3 C's, right? Don't get too comfortable. Don't worry about all the things that are happening today. Just kind of go with the flow. Everything's going to work out. So just believe in yourself. But high school was the bomb, though.
It was. It was.
Yep.
All right, everyone.
All right.
Peace.
Take care. Man, I forgot the other 2 C's.